Talk with Dr. Philip. So tonight we are with Health Talk with Dr. Philip. Alice is behind the scenes, um, and we are live right now. We're also going to have Angel Conway. She's also going to be jumping on as well. So, Dr. Philip, let's start talking a little bit more. I know you have some news that you're telling me about, some great
Yeah,
news actually.
yeah. So today was supposed to be kind of a recap of the month of January and a recap of people's usual January resolution to kind of reduce weight. And it's kind of interesting. I just saw three people today, and we talked about weight reduction,
Mhm.
and they had heard from their primary care physicians that it's all about eat less, exercise more. And I did a literature search about what's the best way to reduce weight. And what it showed in the mainstream literature is just that. However, it goes much deeper than that. And that's what we started talking about. And that was kind of the foundation we
Mhm.
talked about in the beginning. And that is we need to put the body in the best place in order to get ready to change.
Mhm.
So the first thing really is lifestyle change, and that means what's your environment like? What kind of food are you eating? How organic is it? How nutritious is it? What kind of unseen toxins may be in it? Quick segue. I read a study that said if you're drinking water from plastic bottles, you may have difficulty reducing weight. So, a lot of people are told drink lots of water, which is a good thing. But if you're getting it out of a plastic bottle, that may be a detriment. So, again, quick segue. But it goes into what are you putting in your body? So, the foods you eat, the water you drink, even the air you breathe. So we're in a toxic environment. So the best thing you can do is try to what's called mitigate or try to reduce the things in your environment that can cause issues. So, for example, if you can afford it, you should try to drink the purest water you can. Some people like a whole house filter or a reverse osmosis filter, or probably the most expensive is a filter that has some people call it Kagan water or alkaline water, something like that. It's the purest water that you can afford. That's not in a plastic bottle. That's going to help out. The next thing are the foods. And if you can get as close as you can to the farm, that's going to be better for you. And then again, in the environment, if you can try to stay out of smoky, polluted environments, that's going to be the best thing for you. So, those are the things to kind of avoid so that this way your body can kind of set the stage for being healthy so you can try to reduce weight. Does that kind of make sense as a good jump off point?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, Dr. Philip, I know I had someone put some notes or had a comment
Okay.
on Facebook Live
Go ahead.
last week.
Hmm.
He does have limitations in his intake of water.
Hmm.
Um, so, if he can only drink like 2 liters of water per day.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are certain conditions. It could be
Hmm.
a kidney condition, it could be a heart condition. So it could be kidney damage, and your kidneys just can't process that much fluids. It
Okay.
could be a heart condition like congestive heart failure,
Hmm.
or where you have a what's called a cardiomyopathy, where the heart isn't working, it's not functioning or pumping as well as it can.
Mhm.
So you're right, there are going to be some people that have fluid restrictions. And for those people, it's still best to try to get as pure liquids as you can. So that means avoid juices, because you hear in mainstream medicine, drink orange juice. It's great for you. It's got vitamin C. Unfortunately, it also, even if it's natural, it also is going to have a lot of sugar in it.
Mhm.
So for people that have any type of fluid restrictions, the best thing for them is just pure water. That's going to be the better thing for them. And they can get their what are called macronutrients. So that means the good carbohydrates and then the micronutrients, the good vitamins, the good minerals from vegetables, which is usually the better thing to do.
Mhm.
However, that teed up the next segment. So, what do you do if you can't have a good diet? Or there was an article that just came out. This was another study that
Mhm.
just came out last week that said most people need some type of a supplement. So I posted that, and one of my friends from high school posted back and said, "Well, I get all these mushrooms and green tea, and yeah, that's good for certain things, but it's not a broad spectrum supplement." And
Yeah.
then another person in a separate conversation said, I take a multi from Centrum. And again, it's inexpensive, so that means it's affordable. But just because it's inexpensive and affordable doesn't mean it's going to be your best value. The best
Exactly.
value is that you get something bioavailable.
Mhm.
And I don't know if Angel is listening, but Angel posted a very good question and said, how do you know it's bioavailable?
Yeah.
So you look for a delivery system that could show that it's going to get into the system. And we have products that have been shown to get into the system, and we tested it out on liver cells. So we know that it's uptake or uptaken
Mhm.
into the system. And so we know that the bioavailability is there.
Yeah.
So it may be less expensive to take something, but if it's less expensive and you're not getting it in your system, it's a waste of money.
Mhm.
So the best product, the best supplement is something that's going to be absorbed and then hence bioavailable, which means that not only does it get absorbed into your system, but it gets taken up into the cells. So that
Exactly.
kind of answers the question about um, what should you do as kind of a foundation. Yeah.
So a lot of people, and like they've told me a little bit about the bioavailability of like products themselves. So anything like over the counter, I've noticed that you don't get the nutrients in your body whatsoever. It flushes out of your system. Um, so, and I try to explain that to people because can you explain it to them, Dr. Phillips, saying why those do not like the actual ingredients do not stick into your bloodstream. It doesn't go into your body like it's supposed to
Right.
completely. It just flushes out of your system basically.
Right. So some manufacturers will will try to make sure that it gets broken down, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, they'll have a coating so that this way it'll survive the stomach with all the acids. And unfortunately, that coating makes it harder for it to get absorbed in the area of the small intestine where
Mm-hmm.
most things get absorbed. Some things get absorbed in the stomach. Um, so if you look at some of the ingredients, you'll see things that kind of look like a coating, or they'll even say shellac on it, or they'll say carnauba wax, because that's the coating, so that this way it could kind of delay some of the absorption. But those are abnormal things that we don't want to have in our body. And not only that, but they're things that are going to delay the absorption and possibly even, actually most likely, prevent the absorption. So you want something that's usually encapsulated in a vegetable based capsule, so that this way there's not any issues with food allergies, there's not any issues with um, even religious things, because certain people can't have animal products. So as a result, a vegetable based one is the best way to ensure that it's going to break down and it get absorbed, either in the upper gastrointestinal tract, or in an area that it can do the best. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, and tell them, because you even mentioned this to me, and that's when I realized, back when I was starting to do supplements and buying them over the counter and stuff, I was allergic to some of them. And you mentioned that some of the capsules are made out of pork,
Hmm.
which I'm allergic to. So that's when I realized, I'm like, oh wow, and then you explained how ours is more cultured, or how do you say it?
It,
Cultured?
so it's vegetable based.
Mm-hmm.
So there are certain religious cultures, uh, Muslim cultures, Jewish cultures, they can't consume pork.
Mm-hmm.
So that's forbidden within their religion. So as a result, anything that is in a gelatin type of capsule, that is something that they're going to avoid. And most of the products out there are gelatin because it's inexpensive. So that's where you mentioned that you're allergic to pork, and why you're having issues with other supplements and other brands, because of the gelatin aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. No, and that was interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's why our products have the best mass appeal,
Mm-hmm.
because of the vegetarian type base.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. The other thing is, so the supplement helps to fill the gaps for people that are unable to consume enough micronutrients. And quite honestly, most people can't.
Okay.
That's one thing. The second thing is that most people have some type of an inflammatory issue within the GI system.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to give them something that's readily absorbed, that's easily absorbed, that's not going to cause further inflammation. So that's where the ultimate vitamin comes in. The Super 7 has all the superfruits in it. So that's going to help out with modulating the immune system. It's also going to help out with all the other antioxidants. Then the mangosteen product, the Xanthomist, that's the one that's going to help out specifically what we call gut dysbiosis, or help the gastrointestinal tract, the GI system, if you will, heal. Besides all the other fabulous things it does, the caloric bypass. I was just talking to a health coach
Mm-hmm.
literally on my drive home from the clinic, and she understood a little bit about mangosteen, but she didn't understand the health benefits and this kind of caloric bypass phenomenon, and how it helps out with reducing the insulin resistance, how it helps people reduce weight. And thank you. And by using that, that's going to help people with not only reducing weight, but it's going to help out with inflammation within the vascular system. It's going to help people with inflammation within the joints. And then, as we started off with, gut inflammation.
Mhm.
And as proof, we've had patients, I've had myself lab tested, and it lowered my A1C, it lowered my HSCRP, it lowered my thyroid inflammatory markers. And then the fourth one, that was the blue one, that's the Glutamist, that's the glutathione product.
Mhm.
And glutathione is probably the single most popular antioxidant because it specifically works at the cellular level, at the mitochondrial level. So it helps the body produce energy, ATP, at the cellular level. So this way, every cell in the body can do what it needs to do. Our body is reproducing about 200 million cells a minute. So you want to reproduce healthy cells. And the way you do that is by feeding it glutathione. What I used to have to do in my clinic is do IV infusions, which is fabulous, except for A, it's expensive, and B, we have to give a real large dose because when you give something intravenously, there's
Mhm.
something called the first pass phenomenon, which means that you have to give the body so much so that this way it can get through the liver and then the liver can process it. Whereas with our misting technology, it gets absorbed into lymphatics, and in the lymphatic system, it gets kind of infiltrated throughout the whole liver as opposed to going through the usual liver kind of metabolic process.
Mhm.
So it's more effective, it's more cost effective because people can now use it on a daily basis, and it's going to help again at that cellular level.
Okay.
And then you had noticed in you and in your group that people have seen skin changes
Yeah.
with the glutathione precursor product that we have. So now, as we're giving people the actual end state, the glutathione themselves, I'm expecting to see fabulous results with skin elasticity, with skin tightening. So we should get some fabulous results back from that from people besides what we see in the literature when you just do a search of glutathione and the benefits of glutathione.
So, Dr. Philip, let the people know. This is one question that I have, but
Mhm,
I know the answer, but at the same time, other people also question it. When you spray the mist,
mhm,
explain to them that it's like 10 times pure and how it goes into the system.
mhm.
Besides just like taking a supplement and the intravenous, like, those are the one thing that's going to be more bioavailable in their system, you know?
Yeah, so everything um, for the mangosteen product, the xanthomist, for the glutathione product, the glutamist, everything is micronized
Mhm.
and is liposomal, which means that the body recognizes things that are fat soluble because the membrane of the cells is a lipid or a fat membrane. So it's kind of like oil and water. And I was trying to explain this to my wife, and I was doing a horrible job. But then she said, well, it's kind of like when you make a vinaigrette dressing, right? You have oil and vinegar, you have to shake it up, and then it gets mixed, and then it's good.
Yeah.
But with this product, it's always mixed, and you don't have to shake it up. And I was like, wow, that really
That
makes
makes sense.
sense.
Yeah.
So she had a great analogy. I was trying to overthink it, but she had the best analogy. So it's kind of pre-mixed. So this way your body readily recognizes it as a way to get across the cell membrane. So that's why everything is more potent and more bioavailable. Does that make sense?
Yes. And I'm
Cool.
excited about it because I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, okay, this is going to be faster.
exactly. Exactly. So then to round out on the whole kind of weight reduction January for everyone's January resolution, um, some people they just do better when they're on more of a ketogenic type of diet, so kind of a more protein forward diet.
Mhm.
So that's where meal replacements come in handy. So I use a meal replacement for breakfast. I also do one at lunch. I don't take a lunch in my clinic. I just work right through it. And I have my shaker bottle by my computer. And it helps me get good calories in. It helps me get more protein in. And it's going to be, again, that more ketogenic because when you're trying to do things the best way, the most efficient way, you have your last meal, which should be a well rounded meal at dinner time. And then you don't have anything to eat. And then you wake up in the morning. Hopefully, you exercise the first thing in the morning. You do that high intensity interval training type of exercise, which is going to boost your metabolism, which is going to boost the fat burning, which is going to help out with reducing weight. And then that first meal is going to be something that's more protein based. So
Mhm.
it's one of these protein type of meal replacements. Um, if you don't have the time to have another type of meal, thank you very much for posting that.
And that's Alice's favorite.
Yes, yes. And the nice thing about this is it also has collagen in it. It also has the pre and probiotics in it. So it's going to help out with gut health. So that's going to help out with people trying to reduce weight. And then for some people that just can't break the barrier and they can't break that plateau. And I was talking to a nutritionist on Saturday who believes that, everything has to be natural and you don't need any supplements. And I said, okay. However, there are some people that just are at a plateau or they're just kind of stuck or they need a little bit of a boost, if you will.
Yeah.
That's where the shape and burn comes in because that's going to help people either get over the hump, give them a little bit of a nudge. It's going to help boost their metabolism. It's going to help them focus better, give them a little bit more of an energy lift. It's not the jittery type of lift that people sometimes feel. So it's not like I hate to mention products, but you know, like those drinks out there that make you all jittery. You can figure out the name of them. It gives you kind of a smooth type of boost. Um, for some people, they just like that feeling, so they'll take it. Other people, they'll just use it as a boost, either one capsule in the morning or maybe one capsule in the morning, one capsule at lunchtime. Some people will take two capsules at lunchtime. Everybody is different, and everybody is going to work on what's going to be best for them. But that's something that you can do either, like I said, to kind of boost things, to get you started, kind of like a jump start, or maybe once you hit a plateau and you want to kind of reset the metabolism, it can kind of help out with that.
Okay. No, yeah. And can you tell them, because I know I've noticed with the shape and burn, it actually makes you focus, Dr. Philip. What is it in the shape and burn that gives you that sharp focus where it's like you're really focused and you actually get to do your work like this? Like for me, it's like I get things done quick.
Yeah, so there's a variety of herbal things in there that all work together in
Hmm.
order to help your brain kind of think better, if you will. So, um, again, it's not for everyone, but
Mhm.
most people like the way they make them feel.
Mhm.
So some people will just continue to take it on a regular basis. Um, I use one capsule in the afternoon every day just for that mental clarity aspect of it.
Yeah. And the MCT oil, is that the one that gives you that main focus as well?
So,
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, MCT was primarily in one of our products that got discontinued. Um, there's a little bit in the vanilla latte coffee.
Mhm.
Um, MCTs can give you a little bit of clarity, but MCT is primarily for boosting fat metabolism.
Okay.
And there is a little bit of MCT in the meal replacement.
Mhm. And the shape and burn. Not the shape and burn, I'm sorry. The protein.
Right, the extreme shake.
The stream shake.
Mhm.
So yes.
So we're at the bottom of the hour, and I want to
Mhm.
be cognizant of everyone's time. So if there's last minute questions, we should probably make sure that we answer those so that people can make sure that they got everything answered.
Let me check. Let me check. I don't have any questions. I don't see any questions on here, Dr. Phillip.
Okay.
So if you want to wrap it up and let the people know that we're going to be on next Wednesday and we'll have Alice Boswell. We're going to try to get Angel Conway on here as well. She has a new book that she's promoting as well. Is It's called Glamacharia's Guide to Winning in 2024. So, and
Good
I'll
deal.
be putting the link there so everyone can see it as well. So she's doing amazing as well with her two books now that she has. So I'm excited
Oh,
for her. Yeah.
very cool. So next week, that's going to be February 7th.
Hmm.
So what we'll start focusing on in February, because it's Valentine's Day and it's kind of heart month, if you will.
Hmm.
Well, actually, Valentine's Day is going to be the following Wednesday. But anyway, it's kind of heart month, if you will.
Heart month.
So we'll concentrate. Yeah, there you go. We'll concentrate a little bit more on heart health
Okay.
and things that we can do to help people um, with reducing inflammation in the cardiovascular system, um, how they can maybe take care of their heart a little bit better. So we'll start that next week. And we'll also just remind people that it's 8 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Pacific time, and 9 o'clock Eastern time, 7 o'clock for those people in the mountains. And I believe it's 3 o'clock if you're in Hawaii, and anywhere else, I'm not sure.
Dr. Phillips got it down packed. Yes, yes.
Good
So
deal.
I'm excited. Um, so I'm really excited about the glutathione. I can't wait to receive mine. I already placed my order.
Good
So
deal.
that one's the one that I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
So I know for next month or next week, next Wednesday, we'll go on and we'll talk a bit more. Dr. Phillips helping a lot of us. He's been helping so many people out with their health. I am so I'm excited because he's been doing so much um, and helping all of us get to where we need to be with our health. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, Dr. Phillip, because you're doing an amazing job helping all of us.
Amen.
And you're
Thank you.
motivating Alice, so I'm happy about that too.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
Yes,
Thank you all. And we'll see you next Wednesday.
yes. Thank you.
Okay.
You guys have a
Okay.
great one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Alice?
So now we just need our hostess with the mostess.
Yes.
So maybe we should drop off and reconvene.
I think so.
Oh,
There
here
she
she
goes.
is. Okay.
All right, can you hear me?
We can.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you can. All right. I don't know what's going on. I was trying to end it, so I'm trying to end it now, so they're not
Mhm.
listening to our private conversation. But it's not ending. It's saying have